What is up, guys? It's Kyle with Never Hedge, and I just wanted to bring you to UFC Vegas 30 Draftkings pricing. I think there are some slots here where we could take advantage and possibly leave a lot of money on the table and take down one of these giant tournaments, win a lot of money. We'll start at the top. Highest priced player, Renato Moicano versus Jai Herbert. I think Moicano beats the shit out of Jai Herbert. I think it's warranted he's at the top. I think he gets a finish here. He's better than him everywhere. I could see him winning by sub. I could see him winning by TKO. This should be a very easy fight for Moicano. Next up, we have Julia Avila at 9,300. I do think she's a warranted favorite, but I don't like her at all at 9,300. I think that there's a chance she might lose this fight. And if she wins, it'll be a sloppy women's MMA fight. Sometimes those do score a lot of points. I'll be staying away. Next up, we have Warley Alves versus newcomer Wells. Warley Alves killed me last fight when he knocked out Munir Luzez. I think something similar will happen here against a short notice fighter who's stepping up in competition. It'll be a step down for Alves. Alves is the one prepared. I think he knocks out the 34-year-old prospect in Wells, and I think $9,200 is warranted if you're interested in him. Shavkat Rakhmonov has a foot reach advantage over Prazeres. Prazeres does have a lot of power. He might have the wrestling advantage, but Rakhmonov has never been to decision. He's your classic fighter that you want on DraftKings. He's someone to target in all your fights. Next up, Marcin Prachnio versus Villanueva. A lot of people are picking against Prachnio here, even though he is the favorite. Priced at $9,000, I think a lot of people are not going to want to touch him. I think people will reach up above him and reach down below him. I think he'll be severely underowned. And Villanueva has 2 losses by knockout before his last win. And Prachnio can knock you out. He beat Khalil Roundtree in his last fight, and that's no joke. Marcin Prachnio can win by knockout here, and he can make you line up at $9,000. Andre Fili against Pineda. I do like Fili here. I think he uses wrestling in this fight. I think Pineda gasses out, and Andre Fili, I do think he wins by decision, but he could score a lot in this fight. At 8,900, I think it's same as Prachnio. I don't think a lot of people are even thinking about this fight on this card, and he could score. Ronnie Barcelos, he's a good fighter. He's fighting another good fighter. Sometimes this tends to neutralize each other, and they don't score a ton on DraftKings. Both these guys are pretty aggressive. I'll be staying away from Barcelos. I think he will be popular. Cyril Gane versus Volkov. Cyril Gane's last fight versus Rosenstruck was a snooze fest. Didn't score many points. I like Volkov in this fight. So seeing Cyril Gane at 8,700, I don't like him at all. I do think he'll be popular just because he's the main event. People do tend to like him, but I'll be staying away. Rosas versus Justin James. Rosas at 86. I think if he's the one that wins this, it's a boring decision. He'll probably land 60-something strikes, maybe a takedown or 2, but he won't win you a DraftKings. And at 8,600, he'll need to score over 100 points for you. Damir Hadzovic versus Yancy Medeiros. Hadzovic is not that good. I think he loses this fight, so I hate seeing him at 8,500. But with that said, Medeiros could be somewhat chinny. If he does win, I think he'll finish Medeiros. I don't see him winning a decision against Yancy. So he might be someone to target in large tournaments, but he's not someone I'm going to have a ton of ownership on. Tim Means versus Nicholas Dalby. Means I love. I think he gets a TKO here. He's going to slice up Dalby with those elbows. Flip side, don't like Dalby. Tanner Boser versus St. Preux. I don't like either of these guys for DraftKings. It's going to be a boring fight, boring heavyweight fight. I don't see – this is going to go decision. It's going to be a boring decision. Don't like anything to do with this fight. Kennedy Njoku versus Danilo Marquez. Njoku impressed me so much in his last fight that I have to take him here. And at 8,200, I think he's worth it. I think he'll be super popular. Marquez was a guy I was high on too, but the way he looked against Carlos Ulberg, he's going to run through Danilo Marquez. And that brings us to start the underdogs. Danilo Marquez, if he does win, it'll probably be by using a lot of wrestling. So he might be someone to target in DraftKings. Ovens against Boser. He's got the Von Flue choke. That's about it. I'd see this one being boring. I think it goes decision. I think it's a boring fight. Nicholas Dalby versus Means. I don't see Dalby winning. And if he does, it's a boring decision with low output. Not someone I'm targeting in DraftKings at all. ENT Medeiros, somebody I am going to target highly in DraftKings, 7,700. I think if he wins, it's most likely by decision, but he will have over 100 strikes. He'll be someone with high output. He's a Diaz-style fighter. I like Yancey here. Justin James, not a fight I'm particularly targeting. If he does win, it's probably by knockout. So I think you should have some exposure to Justin James, not a ton. Alexander Volkov, he's going to be extremely popular. Probably the most popular player here in the slate. But you have to eat that chalk because he's the rightful favorite and he's $7,500 on DraftKings in a heavyweight fight where he'll probably knock out Gagne. Timur Valiev, like I said, I wasn't pumped with Ronnie Barsalos, but Valiev is $7,400, and if he does win this fight, he will definitely exceed that value there. So he's somebody I will have exposure to. Daniel Pineda does have power. Don't see him beating Andre Touchy-Feely, though, so I'm staying away. Villanueva, somebody, he's going to be popular. For some reason, everybody's on him, and a popular Ike Villanueva at $7,200 is not someone I'm interested in, so I'll be staying away. Prazeres, if he upsets the party of Rachmanov, is someone to watch, unfortunately. I don't see it, but you don't want to be left in the cold. If you are making a ton of lineups, maybe throw him in one. I don't know. Wells, stay away. Short notice, no interest. Stereolenko, gonna lose unless she armbars from guard. I don't know. 6,900, I'm not interested. And Jai Herbert, some people think Moicano is chinny. If you do and you think Herbert is really better than he showed in his last fight, I could see why you would take him. I will not be. But like I said, there's a lot you can do with this week. There's a lot of fighters I like who are under 8,200. So you could have a lot of these top guys in there. You could have a mix from just the middle range, fade the top. There's a lot to do this week. Good luck, guys. Good luck in DraftKings. Like and subscribe.